trying to win your first contract on Sam.gov, you are doing things completely backwards. So let me ask you this. How many contracts have you bid on and still haven't won anything? You're frustrated, and on top of that, now you're overwhelmed, and it feels like the system is really just built to keep you out at this point, right? So, what if I told you the real money, the faster wins, and the real relationships are all happening in your own backyard? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why Sam.gov and even state portals are really slowing you down, and why local bidding is the smartest way to win your first contract, and on top of that, do it fast, right? You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need fancy credentials, and you sure don't need to chase contracts across the country. You need to focus locally. And I am going to show you how to do that, right? I'm going to give you some pointers here, because today we're going to talk about the difference between Sam.gov and local bidding, okay? Sam.gov and even local state portals are not the best starting point, and here is why. Now, I am going to be honest with you. I love Sam.gov, but there's multiple reasons why I don't want you to take that direction. And one is it's killing your momentum. Okay? Sam.gov is too competitive, too fast. You're going head to head with billion-dollar corporations and seasoned government players who literally been doing this for decades. All right, these contracts are national, meaning everyone is bidding, from California to Texas to New York to South Carolina to North Carolina, right? There's just a lot of big players that are bidding, and it is killing your momentum. On top of that, Sam.gov has way too much red tape up front. You have to be fully registered. You need your UEI, bank account set up, pick your NAICS code, reps and certs need to be done. By the time you have done all of that, you could have won a contract, right? By the time you certify on Sam.gov and get to know the portal, you could have already won a government contract, right? It is taking up so much of your time and killing your momentum, right? Another thing about Sam.gov and federal bids, and why I don't want you to start there, is because it's a slow pay and a high risk. Federal contracts take 30, 60, 90 days to pay. If you're subcontracting and you don't have the cash flow, you're going to burn out before you even get paid. And I don't want that for you, right? I don't want that for you. So you're a needle in a stack of needles. Unless you know how to write proposals like a pro and put pricing together like a pro, you're going to get outwritten and outpriced every time on Sam.gov. My number one thing that I want to tell you is you're overwhelmed and confused because there is too much going on at one time on Sam.gov. It's not user friendly. It is even really hard for seasoned contractors to use Sam, right? You're learning the portal when in reality, the outcome is for you to win a government contract, right? We're not trying to master the portal of Sam.gov. We're trying to master how to win contracts so we can bring in this income, right? You're spending too much time getting cage codes and doing all of these things. It's overwhelming you, honey. It really is, and it's confusing. You'll waste months learning the site instead of winning contracts, and it's just a mess. Okay, so now I'm going to take another route, and I'm going to explain to you, because a lot of you know, for those of you who don't know, I was awarded a local contract first, my own backyard contract. Then I moved to state, and in the future, I will win a federal bid, and I'm just manifesting that right now, right? But I went from small to medium, and then I'll move to large. My first bid I put together on Sam.gov was a loss. And it wasn't a loss, it was a lesson. But Let's talk about the fact of you're trying to skip the journey. There's a journey behind this, and the more familiar you get with contracts, the better off you will be. But now, let me tell you this, because this right here is great information. Local bidding is a game changer. Here's why, right? Number one, there's lower competition. Most people don't even know how to find their local bidding websites. That's tough because so many people are spending time on Sam.gov. They don't even know that they could be winning in their own backyard. You might be one out of three bidders, not one out of 300. You guys make sure you're subscribing, like the live, tap the notification button so every time I go live, you will see my face. Then relationships locally, they matter, right? Local buyers want to work with people in the community. The funds that the local county is getting, they want to keep those funds within the community, right? So I'm a Buffalonian. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I bid on a contract in Buffalo. Here comes someone from Miami, Florida, trying to bid on a Buffalo contract. They are more likely to go with my company, seeing that I'm a Buffalo-based company, than to give the funds and the work to someone who lives in Miami, Florida. Hi, Natalie. Hi. So they want to keep the money and work with the people in their community, right? Another thing that is phenomenal is you have a better chance of meeting your procurement officer, your point of contact. You can call and email and actually get a response. When you're putting in bids on Sam.gov, there's a high chance that you're never going to meet that contracting officer, right? I talk about putting my pictures in my proposals because I like to have personality in my proposals, right? But there's a very slim chance on Sam.gov that you're going to meet that contracting officer. And that's just the truth. But when you're doing it locally, you can head downtown to your county building. There's two ways to submit a bid. You can do it electronically or you can hand it in. You have a better opportunity to meet them face to face if you hand in a local contract at your downtown county building. That is huge. That is huge, right? So you can also start small because local bids have lower thresholds. Sam.gov is asking you for way too much. It's putting fear in your heart. It's causing confusion. And even a lot of the things they're asking for, you don't have, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not bashing Sam.gov. I'm saying for my people who I love, who I want to see win government contracts, the best strategy is locally. You have to start small. You cannot come out here into this space and think you're going to go up to bat and hit a home run, right? For some people, yes, it can happen, but it's not a good strategy, right? It's killing your momentum. Another thing, locally, the payout is much quicker, 15 to 30 days, or sometimes even faster. When I was awarded a contract locally, net 30 was the terms. I was paid by the local county in 34 days. The minute net 30 came around, 30 days after I delivered the county the project and executed, I was in contact with them, right? They were in communication with me. I was in communication with them. They paid me in 34 days, but the entire time I kept my subcontractor updated. When 30 days came around, I said, hey, look, I'm in communication with the county. They haven't paid me yet. Please be patient, but I want to update you and let you know that I'm working on it, right? So that was big. They pay way quicker. You can find the procurement officer's direct contact info, ask questions, and build trust. Now, here's one. This one is going to move you to the next level, which is you build a reputation fast, right? If you do 2 to 3 local jobs well, now you have referrals, you have testimonials, and you have leverage, right? You even have past performance at this point because you did 2 to 3 small local jobs. Now you can take that information and reach out to a state contract. I'm good. How are you, love? Thank you for being here. But that's big. Building a reputation with smaller projects and then building off of those projects. Even the subcontractor that you work with, you can merge them and work with them again. You can work with them again and take them right to the next journey, right? So that is phenomenal, right? You get to build these referrals, testimonials, and then you can show that you can execute. Trust me, once you learn that you can execute, your confidence is going to go through the roof. Okay. When I tell you through the roof, your confidence is going to go through the roof. Because if you can execute a small project, you can execute a local, state, or federal contract. But you're overwhelmed by Sam. I don't want that for you, right? Another thing about local projects is they're easier to understand, manage, and supervise. You can see the work being done, right? You can actually see, you can sneak up on a project, you can show up to a project. If you're working on Sam.gov and you're from Buffalo and the work's in Florida, you cannot show up to that project to see it being done, right? There's no cross-country logistics. If you see a project being done and you're riding down the highway with your family and you say, hey, you know, dad put that together, mom put that together, that's my project. That is such a confidence builder, right? Just to be able to see your contract that you put together, proposal and all, come to life. That is very exciting. Okay, so just some differences on why Sam.gov is not the best option for you in the beginning of your career. I do love Sam.gov, but there's a strategy behind this, and local is the answer. All right, so there's got to be a mind shift because locally there's so much more benefits, right? It's better for beginners, whether you're one person business or, you know, you're just getting started. Local work is manageable and it's also attainable. All right, and then it leads to state and federal success. Once you win locally, you can use that experience and those performance reviews to win bigger bids later, right? There was, when I was awarded recently the New York State contract, contracting officer asked me for some, actually asked me for some past performance. That's okay. But I had to give her past performance based off of the information. You have a nice day too. Based off the information for my logistics company. One thing she wanted to know was, do you have past performance? Well, I had already had it from the local contract, so I was able to use the actual past performance I already had from the local to be able to give her the information for the state project, right? If I would have jumped to state and never did local, I wouldn't have had the past performance that she was asking for. So another thing, you could win a government contract locally in 30 days or less. There's no exaggeration. I've seen people find a local RFP, submit a bid, and get awarded within 2 to 3 weeks, right? So you guys make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're liking the content, okay? Notification bell. My masterclass is July 24th. All right, it starts at 11 a.m. via Zoom. Now, this video was done before. It had to get deleted because there was audio issues. So I'm back bigger and better than ever. This is a very important topic. That's why I came back to do it a second time. The audio was messed up. Oh, sorry, I'm in my backyard. It's kind of loud. But if you've been stressing over Sam.gov and you're literally getting nowhere, your next contract is probably just a zip code away. Stop chasing federal money first and start building your local contracting empire from the ground up, because that is what's going to make you beneficial, right? In my masterclass, I'll show you exactly how to find these local bids, write simple proposals, and win contracts, even as a beginner. Okay? Nothing is wrong with Sam. I want you to shift your mindset and start focusing locally for a reason. I want you to build confidence, past performance, watch the work being done, be able to get in contact with contracting and purchasing officers. And there's nothing better than working on a local contract and meeting someone at a networking event that says, hey, aren't you Deborah Smith? Didn't you execute the container project? There's nothing better than that, right? So that's the overall meaning of local versus Sam.gov. All right, it's overwhelming you. It has a lot of you in fear. All right, so from what I've heard, the feedback that I've gotten, Sam.gov is drowning you. By the time you get your cage code, UEI, all your NAICS codes in the system, reps and certs done, fire done, you could have already won a contract. Okay, let's get this money, but you're going to have to get it smart. All right, because I want an easier way for you. Locally, the local contracts are much easier to maintain than a bigger federal contract on Sam.gov. And I know this because my first bid was on Sam.gov, and that was killing me. When I didn't win and I got that debrief on Sam.gov for the Yosemite Valley project, that almost killed my momentum. It was such a time-consuming bid that I had to put together. It took me almost 2 weeks to put it together, then to turn around and not win. Almost killed my momentum, but we didn't go from 0 to 300,000 because I let it kill my momentum. But it was just too much at one time for the point in my career that I was at, right? This is very obtainable. You can win a government contract. The strategy is all wrong, right? And I know I say, whatever you are thinking that is good, think bigger. I know that I push that, right? But that's really a mindset. Local bids are obtainable for you, your company, and your lifestyle. Whether you want to leave a 9 to 5, no matter what you want to do, they are obtainable, right? So start looking on your local portals. And if you want a step-by-step video, join my masterclass. It is coming up this Thursday, July 24th. This is something that you do not want to miss. It is $97. The link is in my description. If you want to start winning government contracts today, I can show you how. Masterclass is going live this Thursday. So we're 4 days out, July 24th. You got 4 days left to get into my masterclass. Okay? 4 days. 4 days. Okay? So I hope to see you there. I love you all. I'm glad I got the opportunity to remake this video. And if you feel like Sam.gov has overwhelmed you and locally is a better shift for you, comment in the comments how you feel about this topic. Do you think that you can better maneuver, win, process via local bids? And how has Sam.gov really been making you feel? Has it been making you feel overwhelmed? Because a lot of you that I've talked to, I have been hearing that same story. There is just too much going on, right? Sam.gov is too competitive, too fast, too much red tape, slow pay. You're a needle in a stack of needles, and it's overwhelming and it's confusing, right? Local bids are a game changer. There's lower competition. Relationships matter locally. You can start small and still win. You can get paid quicker, direct access to buyers. You build a relationship fast. You build a reputation fast. You see the work being done, and it's better for beginners, right? I'm always going to push you in the right direction, okay? I am the roadmap. You are the driver. I believe in whatever you are trying to accomplish in this lifetime, okay? But if you look at the strategy that I've used to get to where I am, 0 to 300,000 in contracts, it works. Okay, in the last 12 months, this strategy has brought me to the point where I am able to teach you how to win a government contract and change your life. I love you. Whatever you are thinking that is good, think bigger.